Harry McGlaris, the fight promoter for Pinnacle Combat, has got a good thing going. We're ready. Round one is underway. Pierce in the white trunks. Right now, Vasquez, the aggressor, but Pierce throwing some nice knees here.
Tight clinch by Pierce and goes to the ground.
Pierce on his back. Oh, trying to get the armbar in. Vasquez able to get away.
Looking like he can set up an armbar here, or he's got a triangle.
Yep. Vasquez in some trouble. He picks up Pierce, slams him down. Wow, that's a strong move right there.
And he's going for another.
And he does it again.
And he's doing exactly what he needs to do right there, Rob, is locking that leg and getting off to the side.
Meanwhile, Pierce is hanging on tight.
He needs to be pulling down that head and locking that leg like he was. He's going for another ride here.
Vasquez throws a strong left haymaker, doesn't connect though. Pierce does a good job of keeping him off, and he has got Vasquez locked up here. Vasquez continues, but
go ahead, I'm sorry.
I was going to say, at some point, doesn't Vasquez get tired of these lifts?
Absolutely, your back can only lift so many times there.
Yeah, that'll take a lot of wind out of you trying to, you got to save your air for this kind of thing.
Now Vasquez applying knee pressure to the throat area of Pierce.
Holding the triangle like that also takes a toll on your legs.
Yeah, I would imagine.
What he really should do is transition to armbar, and looks like he is.
Well, Vasquez keeps slamming him down to the canvas here. Oh, there it is. There's a tap. He got him.
Yep, he got him with that armbar.
What a debut by Nick Pierce, huh? Not that you don't mind when it goes to the ground, but boy, when you can stand and exchange like this, pretty exciting stuff.
It's a nice counter right by Pierce. Yeah, you can't stand out there and have this much activity and not start to wear yourself out. These guys have fought just a pretty killer pace.
Boy, there's some nice punches being thrown here by Pierce. He has Hopkins in trouble. Hopkins trying to stay alive. Pierce right now is certainly winning this round, isn't he, Nick?
Yeah, I believe the finish is pretty near here. Hopkins just a tough kid, taking it all.
Boy, Hopkins better start moving, or this is going to be stopped, and there we go. Schaefer connecting just high of the knee. There's a nice landed shot by Pierce. Schaefer went for the single leg and couldn't get him. Oh, there's a nice shot. And now he's raining down blows, and that's it. It is over.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Pinnacle Combat's amateur featherweight title fight.
With the white accent is Nick Pierce. Teo Duarte sporting the black trunks, red accent. Sizing each other up as we get started in the first round.
I expect this fight to be very high-paced, a lot of action. Both of these guys have motors, and they don't like to wait around. A kick with no setup, it's going to get caught eventually.
Combination from Pierce there. Nice left by Duarte first. Pierce landing good blows, now back and forth.
Smart on both guys and to back out there. That was getting a little wild.
That was what I thought it would be. Good first exchange there for those guys. First long exchange.
I always like it when a guy gets dropped like that, has a little blood in his face and smiles like Teo is right now.
A lot of guys get hit, pretty hard, and they fight a little bit differently, and neither of these guys are changing anything. It just shows that they're used to getting tagged in the gym. They're not afraid to get hit. They've been there.
Pierce landing a couple of rights right into the chin of Duarte.
Front kick lands there.
You can't question Teo's chin here. He's got a cut over his left eye, it looks like there. Hopefully that doesn't come into play.
From what I'm seeing so far, great matchup for an amateur featherweight championship.
It'd be pretty hard to find two amateur featherweights that can trade like this kind of technique, this kind of pace.
Both fighters comfortable with stays up. if you're giving that first round leaning towards Pierce, Duarte, he was willing to engage, but he's got to get back in there.
I've only seen him in his last fight for us, and he just fights the same way, and it's just forward, 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 and
He needs to keep those hands up. That's what's going to hurt
brutal
him here.
right to the face by Pierce. Knee into the chest.
Oh.
Combination against the.
That was a knee to the face.
Okay, as a referee, referee calls timeout.
It's not the end of the fight. It was an actually illegal knee. Unintentional. It's great work by the referee to see that, actually. Teo looks okay.
Have to see the replay here. I was thinking he got him in the upper chest, but it must have got up into his chin.
It slid right up, unfortunately. I think it was unintentional. And Teo looks fine, which is good. They're going to give
Teo Duarte, black trunks and red trim. So he sees it as collateral damage sliding off the chest.
Yeah, it was incidental. I don't think that was on purpose. Now, if it happens again, though, it'll be a different story.
Sure enough.
cutting the scalp of Pierce there, I just noticed. Duarte's got quite a bit of blood coming out of his nose now.
I think that's the main source there. The blood we're seeing as they were engaging each other.
Aside from keeping his hands up, I noticed Duarte keeps moving just straight in and straight back. And that opens you up quite a bit more too, because your opponent can cut an angle there, which means you kind of step to one side or the other, and then you're at an angle to where you can strike around his defenses.
And I think we're seeing Pierce show off the multiple disciplines between the punches and the kicks.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's technically an amateur. He's not getting paid, but to call him an amateur really isn't too fair. I mean, with that Golden Gloves boxing, being a Golden Gloves champion, and just his experience, he's an amateur on paper, but he's way more than an amateur in the ring.
You know, it takes a lot to put that all together too, and do the right things at the right time, the right disciplines and whatnot. And he's doing a great job of transition, bringing everything, bringing it all into the total package.
Duarte looking to move in on a takedown. That does not work out as Pierce takes control from the top.
You heard the crowd yelling knee there. Duarte, appeared to be open for a knee.
This is our only fight on the card tonight, since it is a championship that will go. It's scheduled for 5 rounds, 5 3-minute rounds, and so far this is the first fight we've had to make it out of the second round.
Yeah, and we've got the doctor in the cage here checking over Duarte. I know his nose is bleeding. There may be a cut or two around the mouth area.
Once again, an amateur belt is up for grabs here in this fight tonight. It's an amateur featherweight championship with Pinnacle Combat.
Duarte pleading his case there to keep the fight going.
They're going to call the
Doctors
fight.
waved it off.
They waved it off. Teo Duarte.
I have never seen that guy frown, be unhappy, even in a loss like this with a doctor stoppage. He jogged over. Oh, he's a great guy. I can't wait to see him in our cage some more.
Yeah, I wish he was in my training room. I think I'd like to train with this guy, you know. Just got a good attitude. You can tell he takes it to the gym, puts his time in.
You won't find 2 better guys in MMA than these 2 right here.
Well, that was a surprise at the break between rounds. So that will call it at the end of the second round.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 2 rounds of furious action, the Pinnacle Combat Featherweight Championship, once again retained by Nick Pierce.
Those belts aren't easy to buy.
After I graduated high school, which is, the moment you first felt old, yeah, right now. So he's just tough, man. He's, like I said, he's 5-1. He trains at Dynamic Martial Arts. He spent 3 years there with his coach, Josh Sarah. So just well-rounded. He was a pretty decorated high school wrestler, and he kicks. They said he kicks just like crazy and has just really straight, fast punches. So kind of sounds like Nick Pierce to me.
Yeah, you alluded to that. He sounds like a mirror image of Nick Pierce, actually. Just a little bit younger, great Muay Thai striker, great on the ground. These guys both look like they're in shape. I can't imagine cardio is going to be an issue if it goes the distance. So this is a fight that, maybe a potential fight of the night candidate early on.
So Nick Pierce in the gray shorts, Jacoby Brannick in the black shorts. Pierce with a takedown.
Wow.
And crowds he fights in front of are usually half this size. So we'll see if that comes into play here. He's just been in awe of our whole production, our setup, and everything. And I really don't think it's bothering him. He came out swinging, and he's working.
Pinnacle Combat, they see the big cage, the big arena. They see 9-print productions with this big production value. And like you said, in those ballroom shows, you don't really get that. You're lucky if you have a doctor cage side most of the time in those shows.
So yeah, especially in South Dakota, as they just recently started sanctioning MMA up there. Just started this year.
So the nerves going to play a part as they come out here, or after this gets started, they're going to settle in?
I would think his nerves are probably gone at this point. He's just kind of in his mode now. I think the first punch or two, I think those go out the window.
I think there we saw a case of the position before submission there. Brannick went for an armbar and wound up giving up all the way to back mount. Kind of held a little bit long. Kind of the opposite of what we said about Grinstead. Now he's in a bad spot.
Pierce with both hooks in there, looking to flatten him out. He's got his arm around there, looking for that choke.
Hey, you watch both these guys just kind of sit in the pocket. They don't turn their faces when punches are thrown. They're remaining calm. So, that kind of shows the experience these two have. Nice block on that head kick.
Brannick moving in with a flurry, now going after the takedown, looking for that top control.
He's looking to do what he can to end this fight. We'll see how Nick is off his back now.
Pierce looking to get that leg around, looking for that leg lock.
It's a nice triangle there.
A couple of fights end this way
tonight. Bad spot to be in if you're fighting a guy named Nick Pierce. Nice slam by Brannick there is an instinct. A lot of times it winds up letting him tighten up the hold a little better, so it's not always your best option. Brannick still improving, there it is. Spoke too soon.
Pierce was able to get more pressure on there, get his hand up on his foot with that triangle and the submission. Nick Pierce defends his title, featherweight title, and
retainers on the card tonight. We've had Kyrie Hopkins has been one of Nick Pierce's past opponents. He's a training partner of Macklin's. His striking is his strength, but he does have a wrestle.
Well-rounded, and I think both of them obviously belong in there together. So we're gonna sit back and enjoy this one, I think, as well.
Nick Pierce on top of Chance Macklin.
Slick guard pass there by Pierce. Macklin's got to be careful of the falling into a triangle choke there with a nice reversal.
One thing you see with these guys, we noticed it earlier with Otis, is when they get a dominant position, these guys don't sit there.
What Seagal taught Cormier. We were supposed to see that.
Apparently it wasn't enough. Leg kick right there.
I felt that up here. Yeah, they kind of came out pretty quick here. It's slowed down. I think they've settled in, feeling each other out. And
Pierce shoots in, takes down Macklin. Now, anyway, the fight is back underway, so here we go.
Oh, nice job by the referee, though, to notice it. Nick actually noticed it, too, and stopped right away.
Strong leg kicks there. 10 seconds left in round number one. Wow, that's a nice kick to the by Pierce. And a nice body kick as well. And he's starting to pick up the pace a little bit as Pierce here.
These guys have great reflexes. It's just they obviously get a lot of drill work in. You saw Pierce's takedowns were off of Macklin's punches. He shoots underneath the punch. You see Macklin miss anything. They're watching every move and every improvement from position and whatnot.
Well, credit to our fans also. I think they're coming along from back in the early days. A lot of times you hear crowds like this start booing, things like that, and it's a good fight.
Absolutely.
Scan the crowd. Everybody's leaning forward, looking towards the cage, and just silent.
Speaking of crowd, Harry knocked another one out of the park here. This place is packed to the rafters when we look around.
Absolutely. Five Flags a great facility for hosting these fights. Really the perfect venue for it. Once again, Nick Pierce trying to defend his title. He's riding on top of Macklin. Macklin doing a good job of fighting.
Now there's another instance of a fighter getting mounted.
Kind of the position where we're in the first round. that I was talking about, where you roll through kind of into a triangle choke.
I saw
Last time Macklin was able to hold on to Pierce's ankle, keep him from
Wow, now
blocking the
Pierce is
triangle,
raining in shots
wasn't able to get it to
on
stop.
the head, and there's Macklin is stuck.
Here's
and
the
they're
tap.
going to stop it. Was there a tap?
There was a tap, yes.
Okay.
Chance did tap, so